Why does explaining myself kill attraction? If she says something that is completely untrue, how should I respond instead? The psychology of frame and attraction. Why over-explaining kills attraction? To understand why explaining yourself kills attraction, we must look at the way the subconscious mind processes value and mystery. When you explain your actions, your intentions, or your feelings in an attempt to be understood, you are often inadvertently doing the following. First, it signals a need for validation. When you explain, you are essentially asking her to verify your truth. This shifts your position from being the leader of the emotional dynamic to a person who is seeking approval. Second, it destroys mystery and curiosity. As mentioned in the green light phase, attraction thrives on unpredictability and leaving gaps for her imagination to fill. If you explain everything, there is no way for her to wonder about you. You become a solved puzzle. Third, it creates an imbalanced dynamic or chasing. In the context of the red light phase, explaining yourself often looks like chasing. Instead of letting your actions speak, you use words to try and convince her of your position. This makes you appear less certain and less confident. How to respond when she says something untrue without explaining. When she says something that is factually or emotionally untrue, such as, "You never talk to me anymore," when you actually talked yesterday, do not fall into the trap of defending yourself. Instead, use a strategy rooted in emotional stability and maintaining your frame. Step-by-step guide to responding without losing attraction. Step 1. Identify the test or the feeling. Ask yourself, is she stating a fact or is she expressing an emotional need? Often, when a woman says something untrue, she is testing your emotional stability. She wants to see if you will get defensive or if you will remain calm. Step 2. Stay in your frame. Instead of arguing, which is a form or explaining, accept her statement as her current reality without fighting it. This shows that you are not easily shaken by her temporary emotions. Step 3. Use the calm acceptance method. If she says, "You're so busy, you never think about me," do not use the wrong way, which is explaining. The wrong way would be saying, "That's not true. I texted you this morning and we talked last night." This is defensive and low value. Instead, use the right way by maintaining your frame. Respond with a calm, brief acknowledgement that leaves room for her to realize her error. For example, "I hear you. I've been quite focused lately, but I definitely enjoy our time." Or, "It might feel that way right now, and I respect that." Step 4. Let your actions do the heavy lifting. After acknowledging her statement, stop talking. Do not continue to add more words to prove you are right. Let the silence hang. If she is wrong, her own mind will eventually catch up to the truth if you remain calm and consistent in your actions. The biggest mistake regarding this topic. The biggest mistake is trying to convince her of your truth through heavy verbal wayfinding. Many people believe that if they just find the perfect words, she will finally understand them. However, words cannot fix a lack of emotional connection or a lack of space. If you use words to fight against her perceived reality, you end up looking desperate and reactive. You cannot argue someone into feeling attracted to you. You can only lead them there through your calmness and consistency. Expert advice for mastering the dynamic. Personal advice: always prioritize your internal peace over being right. If you are right, but you have to explain it way too much, you have already lost the psychological battle. Let her be wrong if it means you get to stay calm and certain. The simple rule: action is greater than explanation. If you want her to know you care, show it through your presence and consistency, rather than telling her about it through long sentences. The key truth: attraction lives in the unsaid. The more you leave things unsaid, the more she has to think about you. The golden rule, or the frame rule: he who explains the least controls the most. The formula for response: acknowledge, followed by a brief statement, followed by silence. For example, "I see your point," then "I'm doing my best," then silence.